Hi, Jim Quinn, and I'm here with Doug Ray and Steve Letter, and we're here to explain to you what a live streaming setup would look like if we put it into the church. A live stream setup really has four major components that we'll be putting in. One is a camera and all the associated connections that go with that. Then we need some software and a new computer. Then we need the internet link, and we have a brand new one, and it'll work very well. And then, of course, lastly, we have the YouTube, Facebook, website component that actually broadcasts the signal out to the internet. So let's take these one step at a time. The camera that we're proposing to get is something called a pan-tilt-zoom, PTZ. It's made by a company by that name. These things are rather small and unobtrusive. It has the advantage in that you could pan across the various parts of the sanctuary. So if we want to pick up a musician, we can, Pastor Anthony when he preaches, etc. We'll be mounting it permanently because we're worried about theft. We don't want it to walk away on us, so we'll be mounting it permanently. We're thinking that what we'd like to do is hang it on the right side of the organ swell box here. We considered putting it in the center, but the problem was we got some interference when somebody would be directing the choir, and we thought that would look a little odd. And so we're thinking off-center is the best place to put it. Now, this is probably what it would look like. They are about this size. I think this is actually a pretty good simulation of the size of the camera that we're going to be getting. And if we got up here, we're probably going to be mounting it somewhere about here. And then, of course, it would be shooting down on the pulpit. So it's really very unobtrusive. They're also very lightweight, so I don't think there's any structural concern with the organ. One of the reasons we like hanging it on this side of the swell box is that it keeps all the wires off the ground. There's nothing to trip over. They can be hidden. So we would basically take the wiring and we would run it back to the wall, and then we'd have to come around the pillar, and then we're thinking of just staying low all along this brick wall right here, and then we'll come over the top of the sound room, and then we would drop down through the wall, and that'll put the cabling very close to where the computer is going to be. So it would be two cables that would be run. One carries the video, and the other carries the power, and so that's pretty much what you would see in terms of cabling. The next real component to the system is the software, and we need encoding software because that what takes the video signal and compresses it and sends it up the internet. It also allows us to bring many other signals together, so down the road if we have multiple cameras or if we want to display words to music, things of that nature, why you need the video software. So it encodes that. It would also give us a way to put out messages if people were getting ready to join the live stream. We could put out a welcome message or something of that nature. Now, the other thing we hope to do from the sound room is have a video controller. And so the remote control of the camera would be from the sound room. So if we want to pan left and right, we've got a little joystick inside the sound room, and the sound room operator can just do that. You don't have anybody out in the sanctuary. The other hope that we have is that this would take only one person to operate. And we'd like to try and keep it to one person because otherwise you need to have two people for every service and it gets more complicated. The next component is something that we already own, and that is, of course, the Ethernet and the internet connection. And we're very lucky that Spectrum came along and offered us a connection to fiber optics. We now have a symmetric line on order, 25 meg up, 25 meg down, more than enough power to be able to handle the signal that we'd be sending, and it actually opens the door for two-way communication if we ever chose to do that. So we have the internet already, and what we're doing is just figuring out how to put the content out there. This is a representative shot of what it would look like. You can see that I'm actually slightly off center. That's because the camera is mounted on the side of the swell box. That is a decision we can make. We could move that to the center. We couldn't use it while the choir director was conducting, but that's a decision we can make. You can notice that there's a little bit of backlighting behind me, and that may be something we need to deal with, especially if it starts to interfere with the camera operation or the picture. Because of the setup we've chosen and the remote joystick, you would not have any visible operators of equipment in the sanctuary. So this is pretty much what we would see. I want to end by giving compliments to the sound team, because it's the sound team that would most likely be running this equipment. I need to share that in my time on the sound team, there has been no problem covering a service. If somebody needs to be out of town, there's usually volunteers to come in and help. And that's over a many-year tenure. And I would also like to offer an invitation to anybody that would like to join us and join as an equal. We'll train you on the equipment, we'll stand by you, and when you're ready to go, we'll turn the reins over and let you assist your congregation in getting this message out to the internet and out to the rest of the world. Thanks for listening, and I certainly hope that you can see a good future with this type of equipment. Take care.